when every signing was made this season, there were a lot of talk about who will cook, who will not cook, who will score a lot of goals, who will not score a lot of goals. In fact, every team this season, apart from Man City, signed a striker. Every top team this season signed a striker except for Man City. Talking about Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea. They all signed a striker. And Chelsea signed two. My Liverpool signed two. Arsenal won, and then Manchester United won. So, but it was not just strikers; it was other players. But let's look at all of these teams, the top teams. Who would you pick as your best signing and worst signing of this season so far? Because I don't think how many games remaining, so I don't think
Remaining
I
nine
don't
games.
think Alexander Isak can come back and then score in all of the games and make a case for himself. It's not even possible for him to score in all the games. I'm just saying. The only person that can change his fortune right now is Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Let's say if he keeps banging goals till the end of the season, maybe for the remaining 9 games he scores like maybe one per game, and then that adds to his tally and then gets to about 18 or 19 goals. It's without making a case for himself. But currently, who would you pick as a worst signing and best signing? Let's start from best to worst.
Okay, from best to worst. Okay, should I rank them or I should just
Okay, top three best signings, top 3 worst signings.
top 3 worst signings? Okay, top 3. I'll start from the best. First of all, I'll go with my top. Hugo Ekitike for Liverpool. The guy.
We're not doing just strikers, though.
okay, not just strikers.
We're doing generally. Because
Okay, for the top-
Mbeumo too would have a
for
case
the
for Manchester
top
United.
for the top 6 teams.
Yes, top 6 teams.
Okay. I still go with Ekitike. He has been an impactful player for Liverpool this season. Without his goals, I don't know where Liverpool would be now. In the Champions League, in the Premier League, he made a name for himself so early, and he has continued in that vein ever since then. So, I think he's still the highest goal scorer for Liverpool this season. Scoring and also an assisting. So, anytime he doesn't get to play, you see Liverpool find it difficult to score goals. So, he tops the list for me in my best signing. Second, I think second will be difficult, but I'll give it to João Pedro of Chelsea. I know Chelsea are getting a lot of stick this season, in terms of their striking options and also their players they've signed this season. But João Pedro, of course, he's a Premier League proven player, and he has proven that he's a Premier League player. He came in early into the team, helped them win the Club World Cup. He helped them. I'm going to put that he helped them because without his goals against Fluminense and also in the final as well, I think he scored in the quarterfinal and also in the semi-final. I think he scored in 3 straight games for Chelsea in that competition. He helped Chelsea win the Club World Cup. Came into the season, had a tough start, but so far so good. He has picking up form. Scored wonderful goals in the Champions League and also in the Premier League as well. He's actually Chelsea's best goal scorer this season, ahead of Cole Palmer. Even though Cole Palmer suffered a lot of injuries, but he takes the second place for me. You might say I'm picking up strikers, but based on their statistics, I don't judge based on statistics, but I judge based on impact.
Yeah.
But these 2 players have made a lot of impact for the 2 teams. And third on my list, I will give it to Senne Lemans of Man United. I would have loved to give it to Brandon Mbeumo, but I give it to Senne Lemans of Manchester United. The man has made Man United fans forget about Andre Onana so quick. And now they are rejecting Onana. Onana is on loan. So
Why fight for his place?
Man fans don't
Let him fight.
Man fans don't want him back
He's a man. Let him fight.
because of there is a certain Senne Lemans in that team. Even though he gets to concede, Man fans don't bother. They don't bother if he's
makes less
concede.
mistakes.
When in his first game, that was against Sunderland in his first game, the first leg. He made something simple. Goalkeepers, there's something goalkeepers usually do. They come out of the box, claim a corner and a cross. You know what the United fans did? They clapped for him and they were so excited. Because that's not what Onana usually do. Onana will catch the ball.
And
Onana
give it to the opponent.
give it to the opponent. You understand? So, You know, he made a very simple play in that game. Man United fans were so happy.
Okay.
You know, so I'll give it to Senne Lamans. You know,
Mhm.
he has saved Manchester United a lot this season.
Mm.
And my worst signings. Wow. I think Alexander Isak would be in everybody's list. You know, of course, he has to be in everybody's list. Expectations beyond him. You know, when he forced his way to Liverpool. You know, a lot of people have forgotten that this man, you know, refused to train with Newcastle side. He actually forced his way, you know, to join Liverpool. You know, so he joined the side for a record British transfer fee, but he hasn't played up to the fee. He hasn't played any. He has scored some goals for them, but you know he hasn't played anything this season due to injuries. So injuries, you know, decided his fate this season. So he has to be on the top of my list. And the second on the list, um, I'll give it to Liam Delap. I think Liam Delap has suffered a lot of bad, you know, form this season. This is a player who scored up to 10 goals for an Ipswich side, you know, that got relegated the season before. You know, he has a lot of promise in him. You know, played for Manchester City, you know, in the Premier League, scored some goals for Manchester City before joining Ipswich, but you know, joining Chelsea as a second field striker. In fact, the competition between him and João Pedro was decided, you know, in the Club World Cup because João Pedro was getting the goals, you know, ahead of Liam Delap. He was not getting any goals, so that had to be decided. He was chosen as the second choice striker, but since then he has not really, you know, proven himself, you know, in the team. So he takes the second option in my second position in my worst signing. So third, I'll give it to. I can't remember. I'll give it to who should I put it on?
Yeah, you set up six view. There's Xavi Simons. There's Xavi Simons
Okay,
has
we can choose from
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
You set up six. Now, so you
Okay,
can pick from those six.
okay, Tottenham. It can be all of their signings because because I don't think any of them has made any impact. So I'll give it to any of Tottenham new signings
Okay.
because I don't think any of them has made major impact. Conor Gallagher, is it Conor Gallagher? Is it you know, Xavi Simons? You know, who was pushing, you know, to go to Chelsea. You know, Tottenham signed him. You know, you're in the Premier League right now. You have to show you this is the big. This is where, you know, the players are being. The difference is being made. You know, you got to make your name in the Premier League. If you've played everywhere else and you've not played in the Premier League, you know, you are not a world class player. So I think I'll give it to any of the Tottenham players who
Okay.
signed this season.
All right. All right. Well, best signings this season for me. I'll start with you know, Ugo Ekitike. I would start with what you choose. I think the expectations for Ekitike was not as much as, yes, he was signed for a very huge amount, you know, and he's worth it. You know, he's worth it. His style of play, quick feet. Well, when I saw his highlight, he was worth it. I knew this guy. When I looked at that guy, I was looking at Aubameyang and Thierry Henry in one person. The guy is very good. When I saw him at, the club where he was coming from, I'll give him that because outside after all of the expectations, he lived up to the little hype that he came with, and Liverpool, of course, were lucky to have gotten that guy. He was supposed to go to Newcastle, and then, you know, they nicked him away from Newcastle. So I will put him at the top of my list because of the expectations that he didn't have, and he has lived up to that signing fee that they paid for him. Second on my list, mine will just maybe be as similar as your own, maybe be as similar as your own, but I'll put Mbeumo there because Manchester United have always cried for a Premier League, you know, experienced players, and then Mbeumo came in after that very wonderful season he had with Brentford. He has come in and then he has delivered. Now, of recent, he's looking like, you know, it's not there. It's not that performance we've seen from Mbeumo is not there. But I think if you take away Bruno this season, the next person you look at Manchester United is Mbeumo from this season. Even on that, he was balling under Amorim. He was still balling under Amorim, and then of course, you know, Carrick came in and then he continued that good form. So I think I'll put him second on that list. For third, I think that's where João Pedro comes in. think I'll put Joao Pedro there. Joao Pedro, it was another player that didn't come with a lot of hype. He didn't come with a lot of hype. Yes, he was slow this season, but I think you would agree that Chelsea at the beginning of the season were just not good enough. So it was not just about the striker. It was just about the whole team not actually playing football. From Enzo Maresca, even when the new coach came in, but Joao Pedro has picked himself up from that position. He's not like an out-and-out striker. We know him. We know he's not an out-and-out striker. He plays mostly. He can play. He play because of his. I think it was because of the loss of form of what's that guy's name? I think one Ferguson at Brighton that time. Yeah. That's why he was pushed to that number 9. He plays mostly like maybe number 10 or a supporting striker or a winger. He plays those kinds of positions. He's not really a proper number 9 like that. Yes. He's just like Jackson. So, but he has come in and he has scored a lot of goals this season. He has scored a lot of goals, banged the hat-trick against Aston Villa. Good one for him. So I think I'll put him there as my third best signing this season. For worst signing, I think I'll start with Gyökeres. Yeah, I'll start with Gyökeres. The expectations was there. We can make any excuse we want to make. Arsenal doesn't play with it. They don't know how to play with the striker. Saka don't pass the ball to him. Blah blah blah. But it's not. I don't think it's anybody's concern that he's not scoring. He hasn't actually scored goals this season. I gave him. I predicted that he would score at least 20 goals this season. Like just score 20 goals. You don't have to go beyond 20. That's what I predicted for him. Being his kind of striker. But I think he struggled. He was not struggling to score goals, but he was struggling to play Premier League football. That was one of the problems. Yes, a lot of us have made excuse for him. Like, then the passport given. But when I watch Gyökeres, I've not seen a player that is struggling to score goals. I've seen a player that is struggling to actually play Premier League football. That's what I saw. You said Gitike, he just adjusted to the league. But Gyökeres, came in and he was being bullied by a lot of defenders. For his striker with his build, with his body, and he was being bullied. His first touch was poor. Everything about him at the beginning of the season was just I think he just started finding the feet of recent. Gyökeres against big teams. I think if you want to, Chelsea is the only big team he has scored against this season. So these are the things you look at and you be like, I'm talking of the Premier League. Chelsea is the only big team he has scored in the Premier League this season. So I think for the Gyökeres, he has let a lot of people down. He's let a lot of Arsenal fans down, who felt like they needed a striker, and then right now nobody's even thinking about Gyökeres as a striker. We're just hearing in the defenders they fear when they see him. They carry defenders, they carry fans. But I think for me, is based on hype and expectations, he's my worst sign of the season. Second, if I put Isak inside this team, ask if I want to vote Isak. Isak no play football this season. Let's just assume that Isak did not make any appearance this season, because that is as bad as any business can go. You don't sign a player for a British record, and then he's off injured anyhow. So I won't put Isak in any of my whether number 2. I won't put Isak there. Isak no follow for inside this list. Isak is just a bad. Now Isak a bad business. No bad signing, a bad business. Maybe he might turn up next season and get over his injury worries. But I think right now it's looking like a very bad business for Liverpool until something changes. Now, but in that second season, I think I'll put still put Benjamin Sesko there. Now he's not the fact that he didn't. I think what happened to Benjamin Sesko at Manchester United is that he came in and the coach did not trust him immediately, so he was struggling to start. I think it was during the later stages of Amorim's time he started playing football. Under Carrick has come in and has not even trusted him too again. Playing well. So you look at this. These are the factors I'm looking at and why he's one of the worst signings this season. Not because he's not scoring. I think he scored in successful games. I'm bringing my own based on hype and expectations. That guy was signed for. That guy cost more than Gyökeres. That guy cost more than Gyökeres. And
I think I'll defend him here a little bit.
You defend him. I'm talking when you said your own.
I have to defend. No.
When you said your own,
you shouldn't be on anybody's worst list.
He is. He was signing. You think I'll call Delap here? Delap did not have a single hype. Delap was signed for 30 million.
No.
Delap was signed for 30 million.
Delap came in with the hype of Premier League proving.
No. I don't think anybody hyped up the
Premier
lap.
League proof.
Nobody hyped up the lap.
If he can score 10 goals for Ipswich, that means he can do 20 for Chelsea. No, that was the hype. That was the hype. He played for Manchester City. He has played under Pep Guardiola. You know, do you know how many teams chased the lap? Man United were in the conversation. Newcastle.
Man United will sign anybody at that one.
Newcastle.
Manchester United will sign anybody. They were just looking for something different from Oilers.
The hype was there. The hype was there.
Newcastle.
On the lap, yes.
The
hype was there on the lap.
You're calling teams that
Premier League proving player. He scored 10 goals with Ipswich. If he can do it with Ipswich, why can't he do it?
So a player that was signed for over 90 million.
For a Cesco who is coming into the league, you know, with
because Gyökeres is not coming into the league.
Of course, Gyökeres. I think you are even unfair on
I'm not unfair.
No,
let me finish.
It's your so you have to say what you want to say. You understand?
Yeah, Benjamin Sesko second on the list.
Sesko to me, you know, should have been in my list, but I think Sonny Lamans has done more than what Sesko
for best signing.
Yes,
Lord of Jesus Christ.
Sonny Lamans has done more
than a player that was a bench player for Manchester United is your best player. You want to be the best signing?
No. I think
anybody they chop for Manchester United is gone.
Bench. You say Sesko is a bench player.
How many games did he play?
He's a super sub. He's a super sub.
Super sub.
He's a super sub. So you know he has scored more goals under Carrick. He has scored more goals under Carrick. So I think it's your opinion though. It's your opinion though. But I don't agree with you on Sesko being
like what he's doing now is trying to redeem himself. But I'm saying based on what he was signed for, amount he was signed for, and then the hype. I think it's not his fault. Like that's why I explained here. He was not trusted by the former coach, and even under this guy, it was pressure that made Carrick start studying. A lot of fans started shouting, "Sesko."
Sesko knocked on the door. Sesko convinced the manager that I have to start.
Do you know how many players come from the bench to score goals for teams?
Do you know how many players have done it in successive times? For especially getting the winning.
Have you heard of Martinelli?
Martinelli
comes from the bench. I was banging goals for Arsenal this season.
How many times in successive games?
Martinelli
winning goals.
An Arsenal fan is behind the camera. You can ask him that one after the match.
Winning goals.
Martinelli, both Champions League and league games.
We're not saying games that Arsenal are in control.
What is successive? How many games the Manchester United play a week? Guys,
see 6 successive games. He scored 5
games. 5 games under 5 months.
Yes.
Now
in 6 successive games, he scored 5 goals. I think. So Sesko was always coming, changing the game.
Was that the only games he was coming
at the start of Carrick's tenure?
Was that the only games he was coming? Under Amorim, how many goals did he score from the bench?
I think he scored 2 under Amorim, went on injury. Came back under Fletcher, scored 2. Scored 3 goals under Fletcher. 2 against Burnley and 1 against Brighton. Scored 3. Now under Carrick now he has scored up to 6 goals. So what's up? Would you say why would you put him as one of the worst signings? He's a bench player. This is a player who in the start of Eric Carrick's tenure, Carrick chose a different pattern and using Brian.
He did not start.
Using Brian in Bomo. That was the whole.
It's just like saying
of the team. That was the way the team was set up to play. It didn't benefit
you as a player. Your job is to fit into the manager's plan.
No, Sesko was not the kind of player that could fit in.
It is not my problem. It is his problem.
He was not.
That's why he's there.
Not the kind of player that could fit into a Carrick plan at the start. But he convinced the coach that, coach, I can actually play by scoring goals, and that is the duty. That is the way of responding to coaches who bench players. So Sesko did it. Started against Crystal Palace, scored.
When they see red card, score.
Anybody putting Sesko as one of the worst signing is in his or her list. I think you are unfair.
I'm not being unfair. That's why I gave my reasons before I started talking about it.
You are not judging it.
I give my reasons.
How
a player who scored, a player who was bought for that amount should not be sitting. Had no business sitting on the bench. That's why I said I didn't blame him. That's why I said I gave my explanation. I didn't blame him, but he's part of it. He's part of it. It's not my fault that he came and then the manager.
But
don't
we are
trust the
rating, we are,
player
ra- we
sign.
are rating the performance and also,
Hype, performance.
the hype he came
This,
in with, and also the price tag. Of
that's what I'm
course.
rating.
But
See,
yeah, how many goals
you
has he
can
scored?
say, you can say,
Has he scored a number of goals to justify, the hype he came in with?
No.
Yes, I don't think he has, to
Yes.
an extent. But I think he shouldn't be in anybody was signing.
I put on second.
He
Now, why you
shouldn't
first?
be.
I put Gyökeres first. Put on second. Why you first? I can't Gyökeres put for first.
No.
Ah,
He dey
this
pain me.
is no long. Number three on my list. Number three on my list. Oh my God.
Go on. Now your opinion though. Go on.
Okay. Of course, number three on my list. I have to pick somebody from. I have to pick somebody from Liverpool, and this one too will be controversial too. Wait. Now, I don't judge players, midfielders based on goals and assists. I don't, personally. Anybody who knows me when I talk about midfield, I don't judge midfielders just on that. I know that you are expected to provide assists, but I judge you based on your general, like, what you bring to the team. And Fleury, at one point this season, was the highest chances creator this season. He was. That's why when I look at players, I say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to. This is what you're supposed to, you're doing it. But based on hype and what was expected of the reason why he was signed, because nobody trusted Szoboszlai to do what he was doing. Szoboszlai was judged on that, assists, goals, even though he did pretty well when Liverpool won the league last season. Liverpool won the league, but that was one of Liverpool's complaints. Hey, this guy they score goals, and do anything, and they brought him Fleury for that amount, and he was supposed to do what Szoboszlai didn't do, and that's why I put him there number 3. And that's why I put him there number 3. He's one of the worst. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he performed, he has performed very badly. I'm using this criteria I gave you: fee, a signing fee, hype, and then performance. So I feel like from what Liverpool fans, I know Liverpool fans has done that will come for me, but I'm saying it because now them set that criteria for themselves. I know of my friend Roy who said he complained about Szoboszlai last season. He complained a lot about, many Liverpool fans complained about Szoboszlai, and then this guy is supposed to come and do that thing that they wanted, and look at what's going on. Personally, if this guy plays for my team, I would not judge him based on that. I will not judge Odegaard based on that. I will not judge who is there now. Is it based on goals? I want to see you create. I want to see you create. Some players have the ability to create and bang goals, just like Bruno Fernandes. He creates, goals and assists, and they have that grace to do that. But not every player who are there to, create chances, score goals, and provide. It's not every player. That's personally I won't judge. But based on what the standard that was set for him, I think he has let a lot of Liverpool fans down this season. At one point this season, I think he did 0-10, I mean 0-15 self. I think he did 0-10, 0-15, no goals, no assists in the Premier League. And then of course, for a player who came for that amount, I think he actually let a lot of Liverpool fans down, even though they are beginning to enjoy him right now. He's not even scoring assists. I think because he's provided assists and scored in few games, so that noise about him not performing has died down. So these are my top 3. I know they are very controversial, but my choice now, my choice. Let us hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let's talk about it.